Hi again. Well, a few people have asked me over a period of time which particular decade I enjoyed the most of music. Well, my biggest love really is the 1960s because I was growing up that time and absorbing things. I first started listening to music in the 50s actually, because we had an old valve radio, and we used to pick up Luxembourg, so I'd hear Buddy Holly, Elvis Presley, all these sorts of people anyway. The 50s was pretty exciting. The 60s was even more exciting because there was more experimentation after about, I don't know, 65, 66, and then you went into sort of psychedelic type music. Then I started getting interested in, this would be about 1968 or so, um, progressive rock. I'd already been through the sort of folk um, listening, Bob Dylan, all these sorts of people like that was exposed to their music. My brother he liked the Beach Boys, so we were always playing the Beach Boys. We've got some greatest hits albums of theirs, and they were played to death. Ella Fitzgerald as well. Still a big fan of Ella Fitzgerald. I've got several of her records, and my favourite was uh, Ella Sings Cole Porter, Volume 1 and Volume 2. My brother had that on vinyl. I've got it on CD box set now, and it's very enjoyable. Sometimes on a Sunday afternoon, I put it on and listen to that. Right on to the 70s. I liked the early 70s. I liked glam when it came along. Um, Mark Bolan, not overly, but I liked some of his records. Some of the other people, Bowie. I've had a lifelong love of David Bowie's music. And then we came to a certain point in the 70s, as you will probably recall, in the UK, where music was getting pretty boring, the charts. And then what came along? Punk rock. Well, I wasn't really a big fan of punk rock, but I could see what they were doing. They were clearing the decks from some of the dross that we'd been continually exposed to in the charts. So it had to happen. There were some bands which I still like to this day. I was never really into the Sex Pistols or anything like that. Right, on to the 80s. Electronic music, I loved that. I loved the music Howard Jones, got a lot of Howard Jones music. And then it got to a period, I'd say around about 1986, 87, when I started losing interest in what was being pumped out at that time. And then I started going back to things further back in my collection. Um, but I have a very broad taste in music. I listen to all sorts of things. In the 90s, someone got me into Frank Sinatra's music, and I really appreciated that, which I hadn't before. And now I have virtually everything that Sinatra's ever recorded in box sets and albums, and sometimes I've got doubles of albums. But you've got to keep an open mind with music and just don't say, well, I only like that. I only like the era from the 80s. I only like the era from the 70s. I like rock in the 70s as well, but not sort of, I've never been a heavy metal fan. I've got some AC/DC albums, but I was never really a heavy metal fan. Anyway, I hope that's answered the question. So you tell me, which era did you like the most? Okay, take care. I always try and answer your questions, so I hope you've enjoyed this in this short video anyway. Bye for now.